Welcome to the CONCACAF Connection, a football podcast where five friends take you through the ins, the outs, and everything in between of the beautiful game. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, leave us a 5-star rating. Follow us on TikTok at CONCACAF US and on Instagram and Twitter at CConnectionPod. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy.
Says we're live and then leaves.
No, I was closing I was closing the door. God damn. Can't do anything here. So let me do
Never do nothing.
Well, while he's getting that fixed, do we want to start off with the biggest game of the season, Manchester
City
Burnley versus relax. Better game than I'm about to suggest. Chelsea versus Arsenal versus City. God damn. I have a question for Brandon.
So do I.
Brandon, I want to start off with this. I keep seeing it. Are you happy with the result, or do you feel like it was better a draw than sell for a draw than to go for a win?
I'm not gonna be mad. Okay, I'm not gonna be mad about drawing to City at the Etihad.
But the manner that you drew is kind of bad.
Yeah, but I mean, teams try to do that to City all the time, and it doesn't work. So
it was the first time in 56 games the City hasn't scored at home.
Yeah, something crazy like that. I don't know, man. There was some chances where I was like, there's two chances where I thought we should have scored. The soccer cross to Jesus, and Jesus just not getting there, and then Ben White's cross to Jesus, and it just going outside the post.
Which one was it that hit that the player chested it down in
Jesus?
He should have headed it across instead of chested down.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was a pretty rough game from an attacking standpoint for Arsenal, but defensively, we were solid, and it helped that Holland was ass.
Handful.
I mean, everybody was ass during the game. So, whatever. It was boring, but I'll take it.
I was going to say, you said you were happy with the result whenever we were talking about it.
I was decently happy, but, looking back at it, I'm just like, dude, we really played, the worst game of the season.
You also set up in a tactical way that you've never set up before. You literally did a Mourinho.
Yeah,
you pulled the Ultra Mourinho.
It's funny because the commentators were talking about that is because we weren't pressing
at all
like we usually do, and there'd be some of the players would press and the others would stay back, and I think they were speculating that Arteta told them not to press, but it's so instinctual for them to press that some players were doing it anyways. And then at the beginning of the second half, I was like, okay, we're pressing a lot more now. This game might open up and be better. And for the first 10 minutes of the second half, it was. And then it went back to boring football. But, we didn't lose to City this season, so.
You guys are the only ones with wins in those ties against Liverpool and Manchester City.
Really?
No, I mean, in that group of three against each other.
Charge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Man City and Liverpool just draw.
Because City have not won a game against either the top six or the big six.
Big six.
The big six.
No, both. I think.
No, we've beaten Aston Villa before.
You beat Aston Villa. Okay, so it's the big
Aston
six.
Villa, so
I thought it was.
It's the big six.
I heard it was both. Okay.
I just think from an outside perspective, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would just be really frustrated because, City have injuries and this is the most vulnerable that they've been. And Arsenal had the chance to kind of put City out of the race and really give themselves the chance to really put themselves on the front foot. And they just didn't even play for a win. They just played not to lose. If I were a fan and I watched that performance, I would be extremely frustrated because, this was the chance to essentially put City away in the title race. But I don't
I
know.
mean,
That's just me.
And be
I
tied
would, I
on
would, I
points
would
still with
not,
Liverpool.
I would not come out of that game with any kind of like, oh yeah, we got a point, whatever. I would be frustrated with the way that they played.
I mean, they had 2 important injuries. It's like that one tweet. It was like, "Oh, woe is Man City. They have to use their $65 million defender and $77 million defender." Like,
Okay, but you can't talk either when your defense is also expensive, your attack's also expensive. Like,
I know I'm not saying that, but I'm
you
saying it's not
can't
like
say that either.
they weren't that like their depth pieces are insane, is what I'm saying.
I'm more saying like I would just be upset that you played scared. It has nothing to do with
Whatever.
like
Like
it has less to
mean,
do with the quality and more to do with the fact that Arsenal did not play that game with the intention of winning. They played it with the intention of not losing. And if you want to win the league and you want to take over Man City's mantle, you cannot do that.
well, we've played with the intention to win before and ended up losing 4-1. So,
But your squad
But
is
that's
way
not the
stronger.
same thing. It's like you can't just say just because we played them last year and lost that we can't play them this year. It's like, are you title contenders or are you not? Are you quote unquote Premier League winner quality or not? Liverpool, whenever they won the league, they went at City and they won at the Etihad. If I believe so, correct? Yes or no? You gotta win home and away to win the league.
that's not necessarily true because Liverpool and City haven't beaten us. So,
But that's more true in like a 2-way tie. When it's like a 3-way battle, there's more room for wiggle room. You could get away with not beating City at the Etihad and then still win the league. There's no doubt about it. You're not out the title race, but you've already lost ground on Liverpool. You're still on the back foot essentially. From now on, you really got to claw it. And
yeah.
last season, when they had to claw it, they weren't able to. So we got to see what they're made of this year. If they learned from last year.
Well, I mean, even if we'd won, we'd still have to see what we're made of.
But it's different when you're behind than when you're just level on points.
If Arsenal would have won and gotten all 3 points and City had gotten 0 points, City would be
in third still.
City would be at 63 and you guys would be at 67.
Maybe 4 points
And
ahead. So.
And Liverpool would be at 60. So it wouldn't be a 2-horse race yet, but it would be like
it'd be closer to a 2-horse race.
It'd be like, okay, we're
4
starting
points
to
is
see
a 2-game
separation.
swing minimum.
Yeah. Which is why like that opportunity was just too good. In my opinion, if you're happy with the tie, that's great. I'm glad you're happy with the point. But I would just come out of that game feeling like, man, we should have gone for the win. We could have gotten more out of that because, you've already beaten them, injuries and whatever, but it just felt like you did not play to win, and I would be really frustrated. That's just
looking back at it now, like looking back at the game might be frustrating because a whole bunch of, De Bruyne didn't play very well, Haaland didn't play very well, and I think those guys wouldn't have played well if we had gone for it. I think everybody else, like Foden, probably would have played better if he had more space. And Silva could have played better if he had more space. So I think there's certain aspects of us just like sitting back that helped us out against players that like aren't City's main threats like Haaland and De Bruyne, but helped us out against their like secondary threats where they couldn't get going because we sat so far back. They didn't have the space to do whatever they wanted to do.
But you've already had the best rated defense playing the way you played this whole season.
Yeah,
I think you have the best defensive record in the league.
we do.
So
I think they're statistically the best in Europe.
Yeah. So why do you need to sit back?
I don't know, man. Ask Arteta. I'm not mad about it. I'll take the point.
You're not happy about it though either.
Daniel, how do you feel?
I'm mid about it. I don't. I'm just glad we got a point.
I mean, Daniel came away with it happy.
Daniel,
he's got to be
Daniel,
fucking
what's
ecstatic.
your thoughts on it from a City perspective? How do you feel?
I did not come away with it happy either. I thought. I said it last podcast. The loser would have been out of the race, But like now, I feel like both City and Arsenal shot themselves in the foot, so we could low key. I mean, I think both teams maybe. I mean, it's still a 3-horse race for the most part, but I feel like we really gave Liverpool the edge now and a little bit of wiggle room. Not that much, but enough to where
Well, Liverpool can afford to lose another game. Like
exactly.
they can afford to
It's
make
not a
mistake
lot,
now.
but
Not if Arsenal win. They're only 2
If
points.
Arsenal don't lose another game, Liverpool are out. Or
And
if
also-
Arsenal win every game out here and out, they're out.
But I mean, come on, that's not going to happen.
But you never know.
You never know, dude.
You never know.
And
Remember
also,
when
going
Liverpool and
back-
City went at it? Like,
going back to what y'all said earlier, Abdon, I was wrong because I just remember we play Aston Villa this weekend,
Mhm.
and we did actually lose to them, like way back in the beginning of the season. So technically, we haven't beaten any of the top 6 teams either. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you haven't been the big 6 and the top 6.
yeah.
You beat United.
Which
They beat
Oh
United.
yeah, we did beat United. That's right. We
Okay,
beat
They have
them.
one win against
sorry.
Big Six.
So
team.
one against a big 6 or a top 6.
United's
I
not
mean,
big six.
But that's not
United is
good
top
for-
6 though.
For they're both big 6 or top
Are they
6.
No,
top
they're not.
six?
They're not Big Six.
They're
Well,
6 right now.
Yeah, they are. They're 6th actually.
They're frauds. They're not really 6.
They're not Big Six. They're not Big Six.
If they're not big 6, none of us are big 6.
But no, I think we really shot ourselves in the foot. I don't think we played. I mean, we played well. I was kind of surprised at how much Arsenal were sitting back because I thought they were just going to hit us on the counter, but we immediately stopped any. For the most part, we stopped a lot of their attacks because we had such a high press, so we were able to recover the ball a lot. But yeah, dude, we missed a lot of opportunities in front of goal. I mean, you guys have already said it. De Bruyne,
Who
Holland.
was man of the match? Was it Rodri?
Rodri
Like
was
the official, not like the Fat Mob was.
I don't know
Like,
who the official.
probably Rodri.
It probably was Rodri.
because I don't remember like Rodri doing anything like super outstanding to be man of the match. Like he was solid,
Let's see.
but like I'm wondering like what he did necessarily to warrant the 8.3 on Fat Mob.
It was just
Honestly,
passing.
to me, he was also just
He was just there, but like
He was
he
just
wasn't
there.
like he wasn't like I feel like I saw more Kovacic than I saw of Rodri.
yeah,
In my
because he was
opinion.
dropping back.
Kovac
Yeah.
didn't win a man of the match.
I'm not saying Kovacic be man. I'm saying like in the midfield of City, I saw Kovacic more than I saw Rodri. In my
Yeah.
opinion,
Yeah,
On
it's
the
just like
ball.
Jorginho. It's just like Jorginho. You
Jorginho was
said-
a ghost.
They were
Jorginho,
both
I didn't-
ghosts, in my opinion.
thought I thought Jorginho wasn't even playing. I when they made the first substitution when they subbed out Jorginho, in my head I thought they should sub in Jorginho. He could take control of the game. And then I saw the number 20 go up, and I was like, "Motherfucker!" He
Okay,
was
so
playing.
Saliba got man of the match officially.
I don't know. I just think it was this. I just think that neither team really seemed like they wanted to win it, and it was one of those things where
I would
they
say City played like
Yeah,
City-
we were
City
going for
played.
it. Just
They
didn't.
played.
Yes,
They
but
were
also-
containing.
Yeah, like City also like I don't know. You both cancel each other out. You both play a similar style. You guys went all the way and put a low block in. City couldn't break you down. The key players that they rely on couldn't, get into the game. You guys couldn't counter. You weren't really set up for the counter because I would think Martinelli would be playing and other players like that. So
Is he still injured? Like, is he coming back from injury?
he just came back from injury, so he made a little cameo at the end.
So it was just
sorry,
like I don't think you're good. I don't think you have the personnel. I don't think either team really had the personnel to really go up against one another in this kind of game, where it's one team's going to sit back and let the other one come on to them. I think you both nullified each other, and I think at the end of the day, it was just a poor showing from the two of the top teams, And I know that everyone's seen that on Twitter. Everyone said this is going to be what it's going to be like for the next couple of years, but it really is going to be like that. Credit to Klopp because at least with Klopp, he's not afraid to go and play his game. Win or lose, they're going to play their game.
tactical masterclass.
Nah, it was garbage.
We can move on.
It was garbage.
We are not going to move on yet until
We can
until
move
ask
on. It
some
was a
questions.
tactical masterclass.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
We got to ask some questions first. We got to open a dialogue, a conversation.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
I'm ready to
the
hear.
Barkley meme. Cue the Barkley meme.
Who you calling out?
Got a couple
You're
lists.
gonna talk about Saka and Foden.
Saka, Foden, Holland.
Where's the Doku?
Graylish and
Mm-hmm.
Doku.
Players aren't allowed to have
Doku
bad
is
games.
is rehashed. Doku is recycled. He's
When are we
washed.
gonna ask questions about the whole Chelsea squad then?
You can
They've
ask
been asking
questions. All
questions.
you've been asking
We've
questions
been
all
asking
season.
questions
Like
about Chelsea.
Don't get all scared. Don't get all scared.
we're
We've
just
been
talking about it
asking
right now.
questions.
Right, Saka likes to limp off whenever he does a disaster class. That man's a limp,
Dude,
limp
the
merchant.
memes about that on Twitter are so
He's a
funny.
limp merchant. Martinelli, he's coming back from injury. I'll give him a pass. I'm not the Martinelli lover. You know, I don't rate him at all, but I'll give him a pass. He's coming off an injury. Fucking Graylish, I don't know what the fuck this guy does. Holland, boy, he doesn't do a damn thing if he's not scoring.
Did you hear what Keane said about him?
He's not
No,
wrong.
I didn't.
He's a League Two player.
He said he's a League Two player, except for he's a world class finisher.
It's
He's
like,
not.
literally that's it. Like he has no technical ability, but he can fucking finish. He can't head the ball though. He can finish with his foot. That's it.
I know that's such a bad, especially because he's so damn tall and he's so strong. Like he should be heading those away.
And do you remember last
can't
season
do
when we
it.
had that argument about who
Can't
was
do
better,
it.
Kane or Holland?
Holland.
And I remember Daniel was not happy because I said I think Kane's a better striker, Holland's a better finisher. And then we had the argument of
I
what's
don't
more
think
important.
so.
No
Kane
shit.
is a
in
million-
hell,
Kane is a
better,
million
way
times-
better than
I-
Holland.
We
Kane
had
is a million
we had
times
the
better.
argument of what's more important, a striker finishing or a striker being able to do everything. And a lot of you said a striker being able to finish.
I mean, when you word it
Depends on
like
the team.
that,
It depends on
the
team.
team.
Exactly. Depends
Like
on
this
team.
Chelsea, like let's say, like the Chelsea team could use the finishing of Holland.
Yeah, but
and
we can't
instead
create.
of the playmaking of Jackson. But like,
Right.
but then you look at City. City just need the finisher.
Right, but hear me out. In
Because they
games
have
like
playmakers
this, where you
around
need
them.
more creativity, wouldn't it be better to have someone that
if
could
Kane
also
was
drop in?
there, Kane
Yeah.
would have been swapping with De Bruyne and Foden. He would have been bringing everybody in.
That's why, in my opinion, I think it's better to have a striker that can do everything because like
Mm.
if you rely on like having different profiles, which you should as a team, you should have different types of profiles. You should have a complete forward like Kane who can do everything. Like I don't know what the man can't do. He can head the ball. He can finish. He has great movement. He can play 1-2s. He can drop back. He can create opportunities for players. He can do everything.
I thought this game would have been better for Julian Alvarez to start.
I'm just asking. Like, was Alvarez injured? Like
He was on the bench.
I feel like a four. Like I know that Pep is very, very cited on his system, but maybe like a 4-4-2. Drop KDB. I know you can't drop KDB, but like drop KDB. Holland, Julian Alvarez, 1-2 could have been a thing. Maybe put De Bruyne on the right wing. Drop Silva or Foden and KDB on the left. I don't know.
You could
Like-
put KDB at right mid if you wanted to.
There you go. Drop Kovacic instead. Like I feel like the system that Pep is going on right now is just not. It's not balanced. It's not working. He ain't got it.
I don't think he doesn't got it. I think it's just our players are underperforming right now.
Sure.
Are they
So-
underperforming, or are they just not? You just don't have the players you had last season.
You're
I think they're
missing,
underperforming.
dude. You're missing Gundogan badly,
And Riyad Mahrez.
and Mahrez.
That's why I mean, like, I don't necessarily think that like your players are bad by any means, but I definitely think you lose a lot more of those. What's the
You're
word? Maverick
unbalanced.
type players. You know,
You're
your game winners.
unbalanced.
Yeah.
Dude, Doku off the bench was
Bad. Bad, dude.
But you know
That-
what?
That
I
man
always
had
rate the
one
effort.
chance, and oh my god.
Dude,
I'm
he-
still telling you, bro.
was
Mudrick
like-
in this side might be a little bit better. I'm gonna still stick on that one.
I was like, surely that took a deflection. And then
No.
they showed the replay, and I was like, no way, bro, did that.
At least to be fair to him, whether he had a bad game or not, him and Grealish, I know they're on your list right now, but at least when they came on,
They tried.
at least City felt like they were.
they were trying.
doing
Like
more. Yeah.
it felt like they got something, but like with Grealish, like he just. I don't remember.
You have
Grealish
to rate
being
the
like
effort.
I don't remember Grealish like this at Aston Villa. This man was trying to take on players. This guy just holds the ball and passes back to the left back.
I think
Like,
that's what I was saying
It's
earlier
the
when
Pep.
we were
It's
having
the
our
Pep.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you take away what Grealish did great, which is pick up the ball deep and run forward,
Yeah.
and you don't allow him to do that, and then you isolate him where he's on the wing going against two defenders at a time or 1v1s, or not really being able to create or drift in wide, or not wide, but drift in to the center like he used to love doing. It's just you eliminate what he's good at.
Not good.
Yeah,
Flat. He's just dead.
I think he's gonna leave City at the end of the season, especially after what Pep Guardiola did. Daniel, how'd you feel about that?
What'd he do?
Rinsing.
What'd
He
do?
rinsed. He started rinsing Grealish after
Oh,
on
after the
camera on the
game?
field. Yeah,
On
how'd
Oh
you feel
yeah,
about
I
that?
saw that.
And then he said that was his ego. Not good. I don't like that.
No.
I understand, like, like being flamboyant. But
Yeah.
don't say it's just my ego. I just do that on the field just to do it for the camera. It's just like,
No. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean he's never really broken into the team the way most people thought he was going to.
Who, Grealish?
Yeah. Like he was always gonna like he even in his first season, in his second season when he played better, he was always gonna be second to our wingers.
But do
So-
you think what Pep Guardiola did was acceptable? Because all I'm
No.
gonna say is like right
I
now.
don't think managers should be making examples out of their players publicly.
But you know,
If
like
you make an example out of your player, you
Privately.
should at least do it behind closed doors. You should not be doing it after the game when like after the biggest game of the season. And then just saying something about like how it feeds your ego or whatever. Like that's not
Bad.
yeah,
that's
the reason.
how you get
What
that's
happened?
how you get a locker room to turn against you.
What happened?
Well, that's the reason I asked. I'll tell you right now, Brand. That's the reason I asked because we look at if the situation had been Arteta or Klopp, this would still be being talked about.
Yeah.
It would still be being talked
yeah.
about.
Especially
Well,
Klopp,
when we're
that's
talking
right.
about Pep Guardiola rinsing Grealish after the game,
He did?
yeah, on field, like he immediately ran to Grealish and started like yelling at him and pointing, and
He's
like
done that before.
yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like biggest game of the season. Apparently, he came out and said like they had just informed me that it was to like fill his ego. It was his ego.
His verbatim, what I remember from the quote was he said on the camera, it's to fuel my ego. It's for the camera. It's for showmanship to make the drama and the mystical and all that shit. It's like what?
Yeah, because imagine
Don't do
had
that
Klopp
shit
said
in
that.
public.
Yeah, imagine had Klopp had said that or Arteta had said that. Dude, they'd be getting rinsed right now.
Like if you say, "Oh, I got ahead of myself. I got a little hot." I apologize to him. I apologize to you guys. I shouldn't have done that. Like, cool, whatever, move on. But he said, "I do that on purpose." Nah.
Well, and then also after the quote that came out where he was talking about like the game time, how many games they have, I was like, oh, dude, you're starting to have excuses now.
Mhm.
Like, because last season you weren't talking about game times like this. And last season you were in the trouble. You won the trouble. You weren't complaining about games like this. And now all of a sudden you're like 4 points off the top. You were kind of starting to, I think, freak out a little bit.
I do not know.
What other
either.
questions do you have, Abdon? What other dialogues?
Let me hit the Doku one.
I mean, like I said, the Doku is just rehash. I don't think this guy's a very good player. Maybe next season, I think he needs another preseason. I'm not saying like he's a finish, like he's dead. I think that he needs maybe a more balanced squad to maybe be able to perform to his back. I think he needs to not be on the right wing. He needs to be on the left, and he has to have
He is a left winger.
But he was on the right against.
No, I know,
Arsenal.
but like I'm just saying he is a left winger.
But
But
he also is a left
just
winger
that-
with no left back. He has no bombing left back.
it's just Pep being Pep.
I know, but I think if you can maybe get a left back that can bomb forward, I know you guys aren't in for like an Alphonso Davies, but like thinking about an Alphonso Davies with Doku next to him, you could have something there. You know what I mean?
I mean, we didn't really need that last season, only because we
Okay,
had.
just because you won one treble doesn't mean that you can just
No,
bank
but I'm
on
just
this
saying
fucking
that
team.
like if we
for the
have
rest of the season.
something, if he lets our wingers be a little bit more expressive and not be so possession oriented,
rigid.
being so possession oriented with our wingers, and let them express themselves like how we did last season, it'd be different. But now he's a little bit more possession oriented a little bit more this season than usual, and I don't know why, but because last season we didn't, apart from Kyle Walker, I mean we had Nathan Ake who was on our left back, and he's more of a neutral. I mean, he's more defensive minded than attacking. He could put in a good cross if he needs to, but he let
But I think
Riyad
it's what
Mahrez.
Guardiola
He let
did a
Riyad
couple of good
Mahrez,
crosses.
he let Phil Foden just do their thing, and that's how we got our goals, and that's how we won our trophies. So I think if he just let them express themselves a little bit more than usual, then it'd be different. But
I do feel like it's Kovac is just holding you guys back. To be honest, not even on a hating thing because of Chelsea or anything. Like, I do genuinely think that he just doesn't fit you guys' team.
I just think you're missing the what Bernardo Silva used to do, which was drift in and swap out with the midfielder, where they would switch out like Bernardo Silva would switch out with whoever's in the center midfielder, and they would go in, and he would move from left to right to the center, and he was all over the game. He was able to freely roam, and I just don't think you have the players anymore to let him do that. And I think Abdon is partially right. I think you lose that because now you have Kovacic, who is very good at recycling possession, which like I saw when they was playing as like a third center back at times when they're trying to play out the back. That works fine, but in terms of creativity, you lost a lot. That's why I was asking earlier. Is it that your players are playing poorly, or is it you just don't have the squad you once did?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think right now, especially right now, our players are just playing poorly. Holland just can't finish a goal right now. I think it was just
It's just that he's not getting service as he was.
I think it was just
last season he was getting shit. Last season he was getting everything on a dime piece.
I think
this season he's not getting that anymore.
I mean, he is. He's been getting
not
that.
Not to
the same extent, but he's still getting services, and he's still missing. I mean, he's missed a few howlers against Chelsea, against Tottenham, against Arsenal. So like, he's still there. Like he still is a presence. He's just not been playing to the same caliber as he was last season. So I don't think it's a question of service. I think it's just a question of our players they're not as good this season, or at least this current moment of time. They're definitely out of form.
Yeah.
So, and then it's also missing Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez, because those two guys really, I fucking miss them a lot, especially Gundogan. I mean, Riyad Mahrez. Even though I didn't want to lose him, I was more okay with losing Riyad Mahrez than Gundogan, because when I saw Gundogan leave, I was like, dude, we're gonna be fucked in this midfield now.
I feel like if I had to like embody someone for the image of what Man City are, it was Gundogan.
Mm-hmm.
I know you see Haaland or KDB when you think of Man City. I really feel like I saw Gundogan as Man City through and through. 100%.
Bro, the most important players of teams are players that don't ever get talked about.
Yeah.
Gundogan, well, apart from last season, because Gundogan had like a goal frenzy in midfield, and I don't know what happened there, but I was totally okay with that. But apart from that, he just did his job. That's all it was. He just did his job, and we won games, and that was that. We don't have a player like that in Gundogan in our team anymore. So the closest thing we had was Kovacic, but yeah, they're two completely different players. So don't get me wrong, I still like Kovacic, but yeah, obviously it's a drop from Gundogan not being in the team.
Yeah.